Victor Hovland walked in the room wearing that pretty dress, and I am like back. I am back. He's like that girl in college. Like she'd wear a certain shirt, and it was like I thought I was done with her, but fuck, we're gonna do that again tonight, eh? But yeah, so I hadn't seen her in a while, and Vic walked into the bar in that shirt. That's essentially what I take from not seeing a shot, but seeing the scores.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog Fantasy BMW Championship Picks Preview. I'd say one and done, Geoff, but you have officially won the one and done. I can no longer catch you, so congratulations.
Thank you. I think it's the first time I've ever won. Even a 3-man game in 10 years. That's like worse than like teams that never win the Grey Cup in the CFL. Like, you see teams like one win, like 2 Grey Cups in like 80 years in a 70-team league. That's essentially me in our one and done in a 3-man league.
Well, you did it. Maybe the tides are turning. On this show, we have hit 4 consecutive winners, Geoff. 3 out of 4 weeks for me, 3 out of 4 weeks for you. Although I would probably take the odds on your winners over mine.
Hey, that's okay. Winners are winners. And yeah, I was thinking like I was close to having 3 because Rom gagged the hell out of that Olympics. But yeah, finishing strong. I think 2 weeks ago, I was asking you to drag my corpse through the finish line here. Well, I don't know. I got a step. I got a bounce in my step clearly over the last 2 weeks. So happy.
Use code Mayo at Underdog Fantasy right now and get a deposit bonus of up to $250. And if you hit the description right now, you can get early entry into the PME Underdog Pick'em League this year for NFL season. So what this means is, it means we're going to run a contest. We don't have all the rules or payouts done yet, but I want to make sure that people get themselves registered in it. There's a Google form down in the description right now, so go get yourself into that because there's going to be plenty of money up top, and we're going to be making picks every single week, and Underdog for Pick'em for the NFL is really where you want to be. So get that deposit bonus with code MAYO, and then sign up for that. You just need your email and your Underdog handle. So if you don't have your Underdog handle, go check it out. Geoff, I released the top 150 as well for rankings.
I noticed that. I did notice that last week. I obviously skimmed through it considerably. Although I got the second pick in my home league, so
who you taking?
I was trying to figure out the top. I'm still holding out maybe for Lamb, but Jefferson or Lamb. I'm a slut for Jefferson though.
Me too.
I am.
I have Jefferson at 2. Like people are like, "Oh man, Sam Darnold's playing quarterback." Like, that's great. It's great news for Justin Jefferson. You have awful Sam Darnold, who's only just going to chuck it down the field to Justin Jefferson, or the other team, which works out really well because they'll just return it for 6. Then they got to throw more.
Yeah. So I love Sam Darnold too. So that's a double whammy. Like I'm investing in Sam Darnold. Kevin O'Connell's a genius. He signed Sam Darnold on the first day of free agency. I'm a Sam Darnold truther. We are back. I wasn't excited. I didn't do up the buttons on my Darnold truther shirts, excited, but I accept my role. And like you said, Darnold's just volume. He's going to volume it to Jefferson. And if they're getting their ass kicked, then good. Then we get like a lot of free stuff to Jefferson in the second half. So that's kind of where I am. It's a touchdown heavy league. So Tariq comes into play too, but yeah, so that's in drafting. Excited. Home league. Had a long car ride to Michigan, back and forth. Me and the boys doing a lot of mock drafting. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, you hitting up Underdog being in Michigan, huh?
Oh, I did. And I didn't win. I didn't win the major contest, but it seemed like I cashed a bit. Because I had like $680 in there.
There you
go. Yeah. So I was pretty excited about and fired up some Underdog and even did like worst guy move. Like it was really late in the night. Me and the boys were like chilling and it was like 3 a.m. and I entered a draft and good thing my boys are like better than me. They like ripped the phone out of my hand. They're like, get out of that. You're not doing that right fucking now. Get your face out of your phone, you idiot.
I like it. You're the type of person I want to be drafting against.
I guess so. You're probably right, but it's good. It's good to get the Underdog juices flowing because last time I was down there, it was just the It was a playoff draft, so I wasn't your golf playoff draft. So I wasn't doing football yet, but now I'm all into football.
Yeah, I got a tweet from a guy who's just like, yeah, it turns out that no one wanted Wyndham Clark. He had the 10 entries in the PME Cup. He just had Wyndham Clark on them all, so he advanced all of his entries. You just got to find the right guy, apparently. That's the guy I'm thinking about betting this week, too. You got to go with that solid Colorado narrative. From Colorado, it's in Colorado this week. I like it a lot. So code Mayo at Underdog, leaguesafe.com if you want to store your money for the year. You don't want to have like your guy who might blow the money that you all have to pay. If you just use LeagueSafe, you can make it easy for everyone. Just put it there, get it paid out at the end of the year, sent directly to everyone. That's what I always use for mine. So leaguesafe.com on that as well. And then runthesims.com if you're looking to do rankings or projections. Run the Sims is free in the preseason to build out your rankings, adjust projections, obviously in season for the Sims, the DFS product, the betting product, the prop sniper. That costs money, but right now it's completely free. Just go register with an email. So you were at NASCAR all weekend or just yesterday?
I left on Friday, got in late Friday, had a good time Friday night. Saturday we went golfing. And yesterday at the track, shout out to my boy, Tom, who's been bugging me since, I won't say bugging me, who's been inviting me. Wow, that seems rude. Because I'm all about it, almost since like Willett, like all that time ago. And he kept like, he remembers vividly we hit Willett and Grace back-to-back weeks. So that's how way back Tom has been supporting us. And it was just so cool. My neck hurts because I was like, my head was on a swivel. Like TV, I know like it's easy to say it's low hanging fruit about certain things or sports if it's something like you go to. TV does not do it justice. Like TV does not do that thing justice. But it was so cool being around the trucks and the pit, and everyone loves Tom. Like Tom's like the mayor when he shows up to these things. So got to meet so many cool people. It was so awesome. Got right in there with a bunch of the drivers as well, and walking the pits. It was awesome. There's just some rain. The rain that broke for us on Saturday when it was supposed to thunderstorm all day that let us get in some beautiful golf. It just didn't break for us on Sunday. And the track, it's a 2-mile track. It's a speedway. I mean, I don't know anything, but that thing was freaking huge. And it takes so long to dry it when it rains. And it was the only unfortunate thing was it only got 50 laps in. But it was like my first time ever playing golf. Like I almost joked when I was worried there wasn't going to be any laps that like if I could get 6 or 7 holes in, like I think I'd have had a great day. And we almost got that. And it was so cool. It was so cool. So shout out to Tom and his team there. It was just so awesome. I mean it. And there's a lot of guys like you'd introduce and a couple of guys, like a lot of guys down there are fans of our operation. And then the whole other part, just experiencing the infield. And, you guys like to say my friends hang out.
Well, I mean, where else have you felt comfortable starting Let's Go Brandon chants in the past 6 months? I feel like you were probably just at home.
Okay, a lot of Let's Go Brandon flags. Like there are a lot of Let's Go Brandon flags are in and around. And yeah, that started at NASCAR. Hey, yep, a lot of. But hey, I posted a video or two. I got some more. It's just an incredible scene. Like it's just they say America has no culture. You spend a day at one of those. And yeah. So it was just awesome. It was just so cool. The drivers, Pat, it's crazy. The crew guys are like football players. And the drivers are like my size, but obviously not as hefty. Like it's so like they're so that kind of struck me, but I guess that makes sense, which is even funnier why Tim thinks he can get in a car. Those are stock cars.
Yeah, he thinks he can get into an F1 car.
Yeah, or he thinks he deserves to, or like that. Like I don't know. But that was striking. But the whole thing, the whole operation, yeah, it was just freaking awesome. Like being right down there, and again, TV does not do that thing justice.
Can you show off the back of your neck?
I don't know if it's that bad. I can.
Yeah, it's not looking great. There you go. It's just like when we golf together. You really need to start putting sunscreen on the back of your neck.
I don't think my neck's that bad. My wife didn't make a comment.
Maybe
But yeah, I don't know. Got some, sure. Got some sun.
So NASCAR, good to watch in person. This has always been my contention about hockey as well. Like, I hate watching hockey on TV. I like going to hockey games because I find that they're fun to watch in person. Say golf and football are probably the opposite. You want to watch those on TV.
Yeah, golf and football certainly on TV. And baseball's just great for like summer chills, background noise, especially when your team sucks. So that's, but yeah, on TV. And maybe this could be, people say that about like wrestling as well, but I don't know. I find going to wrestling's kind of been boring, to be honest.
I haven't been to a wrestling event since WrestleMania 18 at Skydome.
That was a freaking awesome.
But we used to we very rarely got it in Halifax, but we had a back-to-back Raw and SmackDown one year, probably like 2002 or something like that. I always had fun going to wrestling events. I really got into it though.
No, I'm just still like thinking about it. Like I could still kind of hear it in my ears. Like it is not even in a bad way. Like it's like every time it's like an adrenaline rush. Like you're riding a roller coaster almost. That's like the feeling I got. Like when they, and I'm not a car guy. Like I'm not a car guy. I wouldn't know how to fix a car. I wouldn't know how to change a tire. I'm not a car guy.
You don't know how to change a tire?
These hands?
Listen, that's something I like. Put it this way. You can rag on the education system all you want. I learned how to change a tire in high school. That was a part of like the curriculum that everyone had to take. Like this is like a skill you'll want to know for later in life. So we'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah, well, that's true, and you are not wrong, and it is a life skill, and I think that should absolutely be part of like civics or curriculum. Like I don't know about people in the States, Pat, but I never had like auto shop in high school.
No, neither did we.
Cool like that. Like I see on Saved by the Bell or something.
Do you
like
think do you think if offered you would have taken auto shop in high school?
No, but maybe earlier in like grade 8 or something I would have, because it just wasn't like it was more than like having this, it was like different and not like math or history. So I probably, if it was offered in like an earlier high school grade as an entry level thing, I would have gotten into, and maybe that's where you learn to change the tire. And as you get higher, you do some of the more complicated stuff. But yeah, you should learn how to change a tire. I just got the, CAA.
I mean, that works too. So
CAA card.
You were at the event, so you didn't have to. I didn't see you tweeting through it, so obviously you weren't suffering the pain of Hideki on Sunday, were you?
Not a clue.
Oh,
I will tell
lucky.
you the first time I even looked at the scores, it was 3:00 and on the 6th hole. And then during the first rain delay, like, we went into like a NASCAR hauler, and like Tom's hardo on the golf, and he jokes like how he's always watching golf in there. I don't know if I'm out on him, but it seems like all his peeps seem to know Tom's big on the golf. And they all love him. All the drivers like chat with him about his golf and make fun of him about his putting. And yeah, so that was pretty jokes, but got to see a few shots like around as he's making the turn. Everything seemed fine. And then I didn't look at it again, because I guess that part was when it was actually the race that I saw. And then the first time I saw what was happening, Hideki was at 15 under. Hovland was at 16, but Hovland had like an 18-footer for par. That was literally the first I saw or had any inkling of trouble. I'd also go on to say, I give Liv compliments for how we do the like round and review things. The PGA's is horrible.
Oh, it's bad.
It is horrible. It has no context. They don't show you a single bad shot. The PGA doc, like it, I wanted to see where the trouble came. They show like a lot of Hideki shots, a lot of the big shots. They don't show any Hideki bogey. So like, what the hell is that? But I mean, what a man. That guy's a man. Answered the bell. I saw that putt on 17, the highlight. That's for damn sure. And that was awesome. So yeah, I didn't see any. Sometimes I say I didn't like see much, and maybe I'm like not being fully honest, but I am a dad with 3 kids, so I am up and about a lot on the weekend. So I sometimes don't see much. Got to make that effort. But I literally saw as little as I've seen of a tournament this year, and especially a Sunday.
So
not a thing.
Everything was going well for Hideki. He wasn't really putting it on all that much. Like, he missed a few short birdie putts early. It's like, all right, well, that's not great. I'd like for him to stockpile these because I was more like everyone, I think, who was holding a Hideki ticket. You saw Scotty back there, but Scotty also couldn't putt, and he still shot 4 under on the day, but that was neither here nor there.
10-1 down a touchdown on Saturday night.
Yeah, and you probably thought about like, hey, there's the hedge if you're going to hedge.
No, it was like that. Like if that's a normal human, that's like 90-1 or something,
or more. No, absolutely. And then Xander starts making his run. Xander ends up shooting the 93, and then Hovland. It was weird. Hovland just kept making a lot of mid-range putts, and it was like, oh shit, like here he comes. But like you're not sweating it too much because nothing bad is happening to Hideki. And then he hits a drive. I think it was on 12. And he kept it left because there's all the water right, and that's the hole that people double bogey. And then I went to the bathroom and I came back, and all of a sudden the rules official is talking to him, and they're like walking down. He has a translator with him, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this? The broadcast couldn't figure out what was going on, so I tuned into the radio broadcast. They had no idea what was going on. What had happened was on like a few holes previous, he had hit a shot that was like just off the fringe or something like that. Like it hit the fringe and it rolled down a hill and short-sided him. But it left this huge ball mark. So when he walked up to his ball, he fixed the ball mark, because he's trying to take care of the course. And they were like trying to make the speculation that he did that because it wasn't on the green. He was technically improving his like line of sight, which he's not allowed to do, which is a 2-stroke penalty, which they decided not to give him because it actually wasn't where he was hitting the ball. He just fixed it to fix it, which is kind of hilarious. So they're getting mad at Hideki for doing that. But Tom Kim basically Sergio'd the green on 18 and just left a huge divot in it that his caddy had to go fix afterwards. There was like no mention of that. So are you supposed to fix the course or not fix the course?
I'm not going to lie. I've never known less about a situation that happened on a Sunday in a golf. I got home at 2 a.m. I didn't see this. I guess by the time my Twitter updated, people were like past that and on to like Hideki being awesome. I got home like 2 a.m. I took the kids to camp this morning. We're doing this right after that. I had no idea. So he had a rules official confrontation yesterday.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he was fine until then. Then like the next shot, terrible, ends up making bogey. Then he bogeys the next hole. Did he bogey the next hole? No, then he put it into the water on the par 3 and ended up saving the bogey, which is huge. He put that to 6 feet and made the putt. So it's like, okay, that's not as bad as it could have went. Then he ended up making double. It was like, oh my God, like the wheels are completely falling off. What's hilarious about the entire situation is like you're watching it, like things are just, you can see it go off the rails. It's no different than when you're playing with your friends who are like pretty good. I don't want to say like scratch handicap, but they're like a 5 handicap or a 6 handicap. And like when one thing goes really bad for them, you see it snowball for like 4 or 5 holes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. And they even say it. They're like, oh, hit one bad shot. And they're already worried that's going to translate to like the next thing, these good golfers. But yeah.
So I'm worried about it, but I'm like, okay. He has the par 5 coming up. Everyone is making birdie or eagle on this par 5. Not that big of a deal. And I think that's when Hovland ended up taking the lead, actually, because he had birdied 16 to move to 16 under. Hideki leaves it like kind of short, just in front of the green. It's like, okay, no big deal. It's a world-class short game Hideki. And he just leaves the chip short, like on the fringe. And this was after the whole previous. He tried to play this like high shot out of the rough, and it didn't get out of the rough near greenside. Then he left it super short. That's the one that he double bogeyed. So he's sitting on the fringe for birdie and ends up just missing the putt. It's like, oh my God, like he needed the easy hole just to maybe have some semblance of a playoff. But fortunately, the good thing happened on 17 for us, Jeff. You know where Victor ended up on 17?
And I saw rough. It was it just said rough or cart path, I think, on this tracking.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that part. Yeah.
He ended up in the greenside bunker. is where he ended up. I was like, oh, this is an insta-bogey for Vic. And that's when you saw he had like the 18-foot putt for par. It was not a hard bunker shot. It was just a terrible shot. So that's always nice with Vic coming down the stretch. If he's not putting it to like 5 feet, if he gets himself into trouble and has to scramble out of the shit, like it's just not going to go well.
Looked like on the highlights they showed him hitting beauties and
chipping or driving in irons.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying the putts. I mean, hitting some beauty putt. Like he was hitting some lovely putts. It seemed like yesterday. It wasn't just sticking it. At least in the shitty highlight package that the PGA puts in.
Yes, he was making a few mid-range putts, and then you still have to sweat Xander, who didn't. They showed this camera angle on 18 for Victor. He probably put it to, I don't want to say 8 feet on 18. Like he was the closest of the day, except for Hideki, who came in the hole later. And they used this angle from the other side of the water where you just couldn't see what was going on. The only way that I knew it didn't go in is because Victor hit the putt and instantly slumped his shoulders and he pushed it. It was the worst shot I've ever seen on a golf broadcast.
I just saw it was 9 foot 6 inches to be exact.
Sorry, I was eyeballing it just watching it.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. I'm just saying because that's how I saw it, and I was relieved to know that he missed it. And guess what? On the PGA Tour highlight pack that shows, the day, they don't even show Victor Hovland missing a 9.5 footer to what essentially forces a playoff. That gets left out of the pack. Well, maybe, as you said, they didn't have an angle good enough because they're goobers over there.
Yeah, I mean, it does and it doesn't. It turns out that with the way that things played out, even if he had made the putt, Hideki still would have won because Hideki ended up winning by 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he ended up birdieing 17 and 18. So back to my point about everything's going wrong for Hideki. He's not hitting the ball well. He's not hitting any fairways anymore. He's just in the rough the entire time. Then he makes that putt on 17 from 25 feet for whatever it was. And I was like, okay, here we go. And it was just like when the good golfer starts going bad and then they hit the one good shot and then everything is solved. That's what happened to him because he fucking piped it on 18 and then stuck it to 5 feet. It was like, okay, he took on the water with the draw just so he's like, yeah. I think that he thought that he needed to birdie to win, that he wasn't paying enough attention, I think, because I don't know why he got so aggressive with that iron shot, but it worked out.
Yeah, I didn't see the drive, but I know it was 356, middle of the fairway, 155 in, and then saw it come up to 5 feet. So I was quite pleased.
Okay, yeah. So that's what happened at the St. Jude. Scheffler made a 40-foot bomb on 18 for birdie to win me my lower on 67 strokes on Underdog. That's always very nice. Thank you, Scotty, for that one. But other than that, I really like that course. I'm glad that that's the first playoff course. There's a lot of danger out there, but it's scoreable. It's one of the more fun courses, I think.
Yeah, and it's delivered with who's been winning there and a lot of playoffs or tight finishes. It always is a lovely event. And I guess in stones being thrown at the FedEx Cup, shrapnel, I guess, just lands on this event, or just people assume that you're individual, outside of the East Lake finale, as individual events, they're fine. That 70-man field on that course, okay, that's fine. In the context of the FedEx Cup in totality, it's fucking, I don't like it. My takeaways from seeing nothing, Pat, were pretty simple. 2 things. Victor Hovland, Will Zalatoris. It was nice to see that. And you wonder, the season's late, the season's over. You wonder what that means, for this week or going forward, yada, yada. You just hope that they're both pretty close to just being the guys we know that they are.
One note moving forward, when you're modeling things out, and of course it's never good to lose strokes around the green, but everyone at the top of the leaderboard either was negative or very slightly positive around the greens. Just turns out you don't want to miss the greens here. And that's that's why they ended up playing so well. I mean, hot putters, yes, but all the approach play was great. All the driving was great, except for Sam Burns. Your boy, Sam Burns. He broke his driver on Saturday and had to play with a 3-wood and was hitting irons off the tee.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. A comment to that, but what is it that you said before?
Chip, Hideki lost 3.5 strokes around the greens. Victor lost a stroke around the greens. Nick Dunlap lost a stroke around the greens. Xander, Scotty, and Burns were 0.2 gained. It was just all ball striking and putting for everyone. Yeah,
so literally any St. Jude card is just flushers only. look who's won here. Like, it's just Flusher Island is how you bet the St. Jude. And oh my God, I'm a mess. Is that something else? Oh, Sam Burns. And maybe you could say the same about Wyndham Clark. Like, there's good and there's bad. It's like, I think it's still a great sign because they're both so good that we're seeing signs of like high level that's being mixed in signs with like really low level. And at some point they're going to get rid of that low level because they're just too good.
Sure.
Right. It's not just guys that are middling and playing bad. Like, it's either like really high or they're either playing like the best or the worst. And I think when players of that skill level are showing signs of playing like high end, it's only like they're going to get rid of that bottom. They're going to get rid of their floor quickly, at least for a week.
I don't think that those two are comparable as of right now, only because we give Wyndham Clark a ton of shit because he played poorly in the majors. But outside of the majors this year, like, he has 3 top 10s in his past 4 starts. He's been really good.
You're right. It's probably that is probably more for Sam Burns, whose rounds are like crazy good or crazy bad. It feels like at this moment, or at least the last little bit, and maybe even going back to the U.S. Open, it's been a lot of that. I did something I don't think I've done all year, probably never do last year. I bet Wyndham Clark this morning. Tease 40-1, Pat. I've seen enough. Also, my boy Tom loves Wyndham Clark. Loves him. It's his favorite guy. And I lost money. I was part of the losing side in our match. And yeah, I forgot to pay Tom, so I'm going to bet Wyndham Clark for him.
I was looking at different because I too wanted to bet Wyndham Clark this morning. Yeah, like I said, it's in Colorado. He's a Colorado guy. He's playing some decent golf right now. Might as well go for it. He'll finish in dead last. But you can play like the different markets as well. Like, did you just bet him obviously at 40-1? You bet him straight up to win. But you can bet him in like the no Xander, Rory, Scotty market for 20-1 too, which is actually pretty good, I think.
Yeah, if you could, like, if you had the choice, would you swap the third man in that market? Like, are you afraid of someone else more than Rory?
No. Like, Rory got it going bad. He knew he didn't need the points because he's still, 5th in the standings? And he just basically phoned. I'm shocked he didn't WD. He's like, yeah, I don't need to be here. Not a big deal for me. Because he was horrible this week.
Yeah. That's sad. He's finishing with a whimper, and he's usually a big FedEx Cup guy.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not like he's out of the FedEx Cup. He's 5th in the standings.
Yeah, of course. And I tell you this, Tim is personally, personally bugging me, not in the group, about like his Rory Rom shtick for the year. He's tweeting about it, and I'm waking up to like messages. Rory thinks he's too good for LIV. Meanwhile, Brooks and Rom and Bland are playing great, and no one glad hands them.
Well, Tim did say Dick Bland, with 2 senior majors and his LIV Greenbrier win, which he didn't win, is having a better season than Rory. Tim Andercust, 87.
He's not. He is not. He might be having a better month than Rory. He is not having a bigger year. And on like the amount of gagging Rom's done this year, like he gagged something enormous. So did Rory. Rom's also gagged what feels like 3 LIV events in the lead. And don't anyone who listens to this show, like, don't come at me about Rom. I bet him to win the Olympics. I bet him to win the British Open. I bet him to win the PGA. So I love Rom. I believe in Rom. You know what else I believe? I believe those reports. Rom, he's not a money player, but they paid him a price to make him a money player. But at his core, he wants to be battling Scotty Scheffler every single fucking week, or every week that they play. That's what he wants to be doing. He's not making YouTube fucking content. And I'm not knocking that. That's amazing. And Bryson and Brooks, their lane for LIV, as we often talk about, seems like perfect for them. But I believe what Rom said through the whole process of LIV. Like, I believe, like, those words. Like, I believe that's closer to how he feels. He's not a money player, but they made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And he took it. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, because you ain't making that money winning golf tournaments. You ain't making that money winning golf tournaments. And you know what else, John Rahm? That Callaway money you got, that Callaway equity you got, well, you're wearing Legion 13, that top golf equity you got. That's that arrow's pointing down. I mean, I'm making fun. I mean, he owns enough, but like, oh, that seems to be trending down bigly. Top golf's in the fucking gutter. I know that's like a completely sideways discussion, but you do that once or twice, and the balls are fucking worn to death, and you're like, I never need to do that again. But yeah, I believe the reports on Rahm. I believe it. I believe it. I believe he would love. He thought that he would be a catalyst to the fix, and he's probably shocked more than anyone that we are at the end of August, and we're probably no closer to something. I believe it.
I mean, I can most definitely see that. Brooks won on LIV, by the way. He beat Rahm in the playoff. Kokrak was in third. Bland didn't even come inside the top 3 when all was said and done.
Was he winning? I didn't follow a single LIV score until until like the very end. I saw they were in a playoff, and I couldn't watch on YouTube on my phone because I was in America.
They were all like jumbled up. Yeah, I think he had tied for the lead at one point, but he was playing the easier part of the course, and then the other guys.
And Tim tweeted Bland won.
Well, you said that he won, and that's why he's having a better year than Rory. And then someone asked, was like, how do you think Rory would have done in the senior majors?
But it's not even. Rahm is not having. It's not even. Is it even close?
I mean, Rory's won 3 times this year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And in terms of like gag factor, I don't know. Seems like they both had their high mark moment in a huge spot. Rory's comes with way more scar tissue. But like I said, Rahm in contention this year has been fucking weird. And the event he won, he was playing horrible coming home and hadn't missed a shorty. So I don't know what fair and balanced view can say that Rahm's season has been better than Rory's. It's actually ridiculous.
You would have been very triggered by Tim in like the early 2010s when he was making these comments about Tiger and that Phil was so much better than Tiger, like historically.
And then you know what sucks when your friend does that? Then you have to like take the position of like bashing Phil, which is not the position you want to take. I like Phil, but like when you're gonna tell me he's better than Tiger, then I have to like poke holes in Phil, which isn't enjoyable. No one likes to do that. We all like Phil. So yeah, there's all that. But Rahm wishes he was on the PGA Tour. I believe that.
Few more FedEx Cup notes before we move on to the BMW, because obviously you didn't get to see it, but Tom Kim went bogey double-double to end his round to come 51st in the FedEx Cup standings, and he is out.
So I'm pretty sure the week of the Travelers, like the show before the Travelers, I said, we're in for the summer of Tom Kim. And there's a couple people on Twitter that let me know that I said that as we keep betting Tom Kim. So we got to ride it out. Thanks, Tom. You're done. I guess go practice for Weirzy because we got one more week. Make those teams.
Spieth also walked in a 50-foot putt for double bogey on his final hole of the season. Like, walked it into in a very, very sad way. So he's going to go get wrist surgery now, it looks like. I hope he comes back and he's good again.
Absolutely. As I've said a couple times, firstly, I only knew about that putt because I saw your tweet about it. And you're right, that is very Jordan Spieth. I don't understand. Why did he have to play to the end? Like, if surgery is in the cards, you're Jordan Spieth. Like, why are you not just getting the surgery? Like, when it's like, why I'm going to finish the season, try to make it to Eastlake?
No, I think he was trying to come inside the top 50 to guarantee him a spot in all the signature events.
Oh, okay. Yep. Can't argue that. If you're not in those, you're...
And he's not. He didn't make it. I mean, he will make it because he'll get every sponsor's exemption possible. He'll be like the Kevin Kisner of next year. But getting into that top 50 is actually, it sucks for Tom Kim.
Wow. What a finish. I saw he finished 51st, and I guess I should have opened up the scorecard. That's crazy.
And huge shout out to Eric Cole and Max Greiserman because they were like 8 under and 7 under on Sunday, and they played themselves into the signature events and into the BMW.
More importantly, to me, because I think I'm gonna gut instinct no. Nick Taylor, President's Cup, yes or no?
No.
Yeah, no, right? No,
Yeah, he's out.
They're gonna. He played his way off.
We talked about this last week. They're going to take Pendrith again, and they probably should. It's going to be Connors and Pendrith, the 2 Canadians.
I think they might. Wow, you think it'll only be 2?
I mean, I can't envision a scenario where another one makes the team. Like, then your team is really bad if you're taking Adam Hadwin. I like Adam Hadwin enough, but, like, come on.
I guess if they take a third, it is glad handing Taylor as like right. He would be the guy if they do choose to take a third.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, I would take Taylor. I'd even consider taking like Mac Hughes because I think when your team sucks, which the international team is going to suck, that you have to take like weird variables within your team. Like we know that Taylor on any given week can beat like the best guys in the world. It happens like once every 3 years, but you hope this is the week. Like with Mac Hughes, you're like, oh yeah, he's just going to outputt everyone for 4 rounds. He can do that, and he can. Where like those would be the sort of angles that I would be taking, knowing I'm a huge underdog.
Yeah, you got to play the match play variable, like the match play factor of it. How do you know? Anyone tell you? You just putts kills the match play, and Mac hits the putts, then he can maybe save himself a match. I don't know. It feels like talking about Mac or Taylor on the team. I mean, Art gives me some like South Sudan, USA vibes. So, I mean, I'm speaking of maybe they can battle a little bit, but when it actually going to come time to matter, I think get our fucking ass kicked.
Like looking at it right now, Taylor and Hadwin are actually ahead of Pendrith in the standings.
But Pendrith's still going to play, no?
Yeah, Pendrith is still playing this week. But so is Hadwin. Hadwin and Pendrith are both in the BMW Championship. Siwoo is only 14th. Like I would have to think that Siwoo makes this team.
I would think so as well. Like you said, you got to play to the guy's ceilings if you're going to like have a chance.
So it's probably the top 10 in the standings. Taylor and Hadwin are 11th and 12th. Pendrith and Siwoo are 13th and 14th. I'm just guessing that those guys end up making it.
Yeah.
Outside of like, I don't know, someone winning this week. And I don't even see any internationals who could win this week.
In any international, like it should be a rule. Like if you are on the internationals and you get to Eastlake, you automatically make the team because they don't like, that's just like, I don't even care how you got there. You should automatically make the team. But there's not even many guys that's even possible for.
Bez, Hadwin, and Pendrith are the only guys. I guess technically Cam Davis, because he snuck through to Colorado this week as well. With another good week, he could get to Eastlake. Passion, drive, patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Supercharger, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. Everyone who tunes into the Pat Mayo Experience knows from time to time I like to talk to you about some health supplements that I end up taking, and I've been doing Timeline's MitoPure now for about a month. Feel great? And I think you can too. Take 2 soft gels a day for 2 months, and you can see significant improvements in your cellular energy, your muscle strength, and your endurance. That was the big thing. I've been golfing more this summer and lifting less. Yet when I go back to the gym for my once a week, like max lift, I am not really atrophying that much. I'm not losing a ton of muscle, which is absolutely fantastic news for me and my golf game, because if you work out too much, then you get too sore, you get too stiff, you need to retain that flexibility. I'm retaining my muscle mass at the same time although I'm not working out as much. And it comes in 2 product designs to fit your needs. They're berry powder, which is great to mix into your breakfast, yogurt, or daily smoothie. That's how I've been doing it. I've been eating some strawberries, raspberries, blackberries with a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of protein powder. Then boom, Timeline's Mito Pure right on top of that. Or they have soft gels for the days where you're just on the run and wanted something convenient to grab and go. So Timeline is offering 10% off your first order of Mito Pure right now. So go to timeline.com/Mayo to get that 10% off. All right? Okay, let's move to the BMW Championship. High energy is what we're talking about today on the Pat Mayo Experience. Additionally, if you work for the PGA Tour and you are watching this show, thank you for watching the show. Tell them to speed up our credentials for the President's Cup. I mean, I get back and forth with them, and they're like, oh, it's betting, da-da-da-da. Just be like, no, you want Jeff and Pat there. You want Kenny and Byron there. You want Tambo there doing content from the scene. Right, Jeff?
Yeah. It's going to be a gonger, and it seems like there's even more people coming, Pat, who are going to be there. So I'm really looking forward to it. Again, yeah, I was driving home middle of the night. Well, I wasn't driving, that's for sure. And I was thinking, like, can't wait. Like, I got to do this on this past weekend, and then my September treat is going to be going to Montreal, and I don't know. Hopefully, I'm dragging Cammy on a train or something. Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, Cam's on. I put it for a bunch of us in for credentials so we could do our content from the course. So if you work for the PGA Tour, you'd be like, yeah, we need these guys here. Like, they're going to represent Canada, South Korea, South Africa. We got the international side covered, and there's just not a lot of people doing that. So BMW, you said Wyndham Clark was your first click this morning?
Yeah, Win DC. And I don't know that I ever bet the guy. I'm not really a fan, but I see the form, and we're in. We're going to cash that.
Oh, okay. So. Easy game. Just we're going to cash that?
No, that was just me. Like, no. I don't have that kind of swagger. I'm reeling that back in. But I'm in. I'm in 40-1. So
Castle Pines Golf Club in Castle Rock, Colorado, over 8,100 yards as a par 72. 77 bunkers, 10 holes with water in play. Not huge greens, 5,600 yards. It's a Jack Nicklaus design as well, but it's played at extreme elevation. So that 8,100 is not really 8,100 now, is it?
No, but I don't know what... I always have a hard time quantifying it. Like, even though it's longer, the other boys are still going to be able to do what they need to do.
Yeah, listen, I don't think you necessarily need to be a bomber in order to tackle the 8,100 yards. Everyone's shots are just going to go a long ways. It's a split between bent and Poa, greens, and the one takeaway that I had, like, I'll probably end up betting Wyndham Clark. The best number I see now is 35. I'll probably end up getting in on that. Scotty played like absolute dog shit and was still 4th place. It just feels like he's going to win. And his number, when looking at it, is basically the same as last week. And now you take 20 guys out of the field. So I might just do that.
I mean, 20 guys who aren't winning. But no, I shouldn't say that, because I bet Tom Kim. As did a lot of people last week.
And
there's a few.
There's good players who, like Min Woo is not playing the BMW. There's a lot of pretty decent players. But it just takes away that possibility. You take away, what it would be, 20 and 70. You take away like 30% of the field. Like, and the odds don't change. Like, that's good. Like, there are extra guys. Even if their total win equity is like 2% between those 20 guys, the fact that it's the same number I thought was somewhat surprising.
Okay. And he does seem ready to give her. I don't know. I feel like I just haven't done it once this year. I'm not going to start. I just got myself 2 winners in a row. I'm going to have fun building a card at what is really the last golf tournament to like pre-tournament bet in some real context for the year. So I made it the year. He caught like many. I didn't have the most second places to Scotty, I'm sure, because there were so many that I'm sure someone's got more, but we all took our Rochambeaus at the hands of the guy. And if I got to take one more, I'll do it off back-to-back winners, and I'll take it. And you mentioned Minwoo Lee, and I'll just throw in because we were just talking about it. No surprise, but we're at the Champions Tour event on the weekend, like kind of alluded to, like, yeah, Minwoo Lee's going to be on the team. His driver just can be a weapon in match play or alt shot or best ball and stuff.
It can, but like this isn't the course for it. Like Royal Montreal is like a shorter players championship, where Minwoo like played really well one year, not because he was driving the ball great, because he putted the ball great.
Those are fair points. I guess just let's be fair. Like we can debate. Maybe he's overrated.
It's not that he's overrated. It's just I think that he has a particular skill set, and I don't know if they're like. I'm good with taking Bez on this team. That's why I would take Siwoo on this team. And if you're going to take Hadwin versus Taylor, maybe Taylor or Hadwin is the better pick because he'll hit fairways, he'll hit his irons well, and make some putts. Like these are the types of guys that you'd probably want.
Yeah, when I was making that rant before about Hughes, it was actually meant to say Hadwin, just a guy like the Kisner, just hit some putts and like be a backbreaker in matches. But I mean, that'd be crazy to think Hadwin could beat someone on the upper half of the American team. Yeah, I don't think there's 12 international golfers better than Minwoo, but you make the case about the course thing. I guess they just see that driver as a weapon, and if it's on, then he can be a difference maker for them. And you can protect guys in the President's Cup format, and internationals need all the protections they can get with, it's hard. They're already in an uphill climb. I'm not betting Scotty. I doubt I'd even consider Xander at double.
I mean, Xander could have won yesterday as well. And that was the first time he had really played well at Southwind in his career. Rory's at 10. So trying to think about the elevation courses on tour. You have Summerland in Vegas. You have the Shadow Creek one where Rory beat Morikawa. Again, and this is a Nicklaus design as well. So there's a lot of people talking about memorial comps to this place. Here's the bad part about yesterday. Do we just ride the Hovland form? Because we just see this in the playoffs. Like, guys get hot. It's like, oh, bet the hot guy. He's just going to end up winning.
So, you know me. And I see a 24 with the enhanced on 365. And I've been staring at it. I just hit, how to put this? Yeah, I hit 2 bets in a... Victor Hovland walked in the room wearing that pretty dress, and I am like back. I am back. He's like that girl in college. Like she'd wear a certain shirt, and it was like I thought I was done with her, but fuck, we're gonna do that again tonight, eh? But yeah, so I hadn't seen her in a while, and Vic walked into the bar in that shirt. That's essentially what I take from not seeing a shot but seeing the scores. I don't know how I don't bet it. I'm just moving some Ludwig chips to Hovland, I guess, at this moment in time. So I really want to do that. Yeah.
That 24 that you're seeing right now, I see it at 18. You missed the 24, I think.
What's Rivers then?
Other than that, Cantlay has been good at Nicklaus courses and elevation courses. He's at 22. Morikawa, he won the Barracuda. The guy I was actually thinking about betting was Dunlap. He's won 2 Nicklaus courses now, like the Pete Dye Nicklaus split that he won at Amex, and then he won the Barracuda, which is a Nicklaus course at elevation. Maybe winning isn't what I'm looking for from him, but 8 places, something like that, might be worth it.
22 on Phillip Rivers. Dunlap, do you think he's going to make the President's Cup team? Am I just being annoying with President's Cup things?
You are being pretty annoying with President's Cup things.
Sorry.
But if it comes down to it, I mean, I guess if Dunlap won this week, would they take him over Max Homa? Maybe. But I don't know.
Max Homa's not coming.
Max Homa's 9th in the standings.
What?
Yeah.
Is that like because he's done something I don't think he did, or because America's way worse than I think they've been this year?
Both.
Which I know they've been bad.
Both. But you forget, Homa was 3rd at the Masters. That's helpful.
Yeah, fair enough.
But as long as Akshay can get on this team, I really don't care. Because Akshay's the last guy in points right now. So he'd have to be a captain's pick. But after him, it's like Kirk, Cole, Denny, Horschel, Thomas. I think Horschel makes the team.
Good chance Billy makes it. I'm rooting with, I think they should change the guard a bit. I'd be looking forward to that as an American fan. Thiegs, Baccia, just keep bringing some fresh blood. That looks like they'll be having to play even bigger matches in a couple years.
So Scotty, 3.5 to 1. Xander 6-1, and of course you can get these enhanced up a little bit. These are the best in the market without an enhancement right now or a boost. Rory 11, Morikawa 14, Hideki 18, Ludwig 20, Victor 20 at FanDuel right now, if that's where you want to play. And you said 22 at Bet Rivers. Cantlay's 22, Fleetwood's 28 is the best number available, 25 in most places. Finau's 33, Burns is 35, Clark is 35, Sungjae is 40, Rai is 45. Like, how far do you go down this list? Do you have secret Finau and Cam Young bets on the go?
No, maybe Finau, but that would be documented. And no, Cam Young. I didn't see it, but I saw people like, I don't know. I always see like people posting like a shot tracer graph of like a hole, and it's always like seems insane. So I don't think I'd be betting Cam Young. I saw that Tommy had his best ball striking year in week in America since 18, but had his worst ever putting week.
Yes, that is correct. He lost.
So I'm happy I didn't have to watch that.
8 strokes lost on the greens for Tommy.
But do you look at that from a neutral?
I looked that he's lost strokes on the green 4 tournaments in a row. That's not good.
That's bad. Yeah. Okay. That's clear. That's you got to open up the sheet to see that. Fantasy National. We'll open that sucker up. Yeah, that makes me less like want to rock the narrative in my brain that, off a horrible week, he'll like just grind it on the greens with Finau for the next few days. We'll be back. But this clearly just seems like a trend. 8 is so bad. 8 is just, and it's gotten worse, right?
Yeah, progressively getting worse. Maybe he's hit the nadir and now he's back up.
Yeah, this is concerning. It's like, you mentioned the progressive aspect to it. Not that it can get worse, but the highest I see for Tommy is 28 over at FanDuel.
So I think I might just pull a U here. Go Vic and Clark. And maybe Pendrith, who's playing like sneaky good. And is inside the top 30 right now.
Hey, last week we both just Hideki off the top. We're like, yeah, just seems kind of good. Let's do it. So we haven't even spoken, and Vic and Wyndham. I'm happy to pull a trigger on that. I don't think you've gotten down to this part of the board, but it's like right here. People.
Bet Rivers has Will Zalatoris at 90-1, by the way. He's like 50-1 everywhere else.
Interesting. And then if you don't want places, you can get that to 100 on the like enhanced option.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I do that a lot. I appreciate that. I just want to talk to our fans because I love them, Pat. I love them. But the amount, it was like at least 7 people last week, which is not a lot, but it's a lot. You bet Tommy. You bet Corey Connors. Shut your mouth about Russell Henley. I am as transparent as glass, okay? What do I say? I bet my own losers. I don't need to add yours. I never bet the guy one time. It doesn't burn me. I can continue not to bet him when I think he's priced with guys that are actually awesome, even if I'm wrong about how awesome they are. Even if they cross the line just as little. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I will continue to bet Tommy. I will continue to not bet Russell Henley. And you better believe I'd bet Corey Connors before I'd bet Russell Henley. And I don't even care if that's fair. But that's just me. That's just how I roll. I got my own losers. I don't need to add yours.
Do you know who led all players in approach last week?
Oh my God, tell me it was Russell Henley.
It was not. It was Aaron Rai, who basically had the same week as Tommy, except he only lost 5 strokes putting and not 8. Did you go back to Rai?
He's not, I don't.
50-1?
Yeah, he's 50-1 last week. I don't think I'll bet a guy over 50-1.
Okay.
I'll be like compact and good.
Fair enough. All right. Do you want to get to the quick picks then?
No, I'm happy to talk through it. I obviously, like many, don't really know anything about the course. But I don't see this getting like down the board. Like I do not. And that's not a bold take. That's not a hot take. I just am going to bet the good players who I like and who I want to still trust as we pretty much get a bet the last real event of the season. And it's FedEx Cup and then what, a week or two off, or they're right back at it?
No, it's East Lake next week.
East Lake next week, like the conclusion of the season, the FedEx Cup, and then when does it start again?
Napa mid-September, I think. Week 3 of football. Week 2 of football.
Okay, thank you. It's just good to get off. We got to get off the horse. So that's I'll be excited to get back on the horse, but you run the WWE circus schedule. Like it's nice to jump off the ride.
Do you want to hear a list of winners of the BMW Championship over the years?
Sure.
Victor, Cantlay, Rom, JT, Bryson, JT, Rory, Ricky are your last 10 winners.
Truth be told, Pat, I know there's been some burns, like not Sam, but Lucas Glover last year and maybe something else. I only like all FedEx Cup is top heavy. I will get burned betting top heavy.
Oh no,
FedEx
sorry, I got that wrong. I was reading out the Dell Technologies Championship. BMW, Hovland, Cantlay, Rom, JT at the BMW. And then after that, it was Keegan, Leishman, DJ, Day, Horschel, Zach Johnson. Back when it was 4 events, not 3. So since it's been 3 events, it's been all studs.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember there was a period of time, Pat. It's like when you would do like the last 20 winners of those WGCs, and 19 of them were stars. And doesn't even include this is like after Tiger's like insane dominance. Like they only just went to the power players. I will accept getting got by the back of a field at a FedEx Cup because I'm just not even giving you the time of day. Now, if it's like I don't think I'm betting it, but like if it's like a ceiling meeting moment, like a Cam Young, okay, I'm not surprised. I kind of always expected that guy to be closer to the guys at the top, not the very top. So sure, but I'm not betting anyone. I'm not betting about Benny Ann for his breakthrough or one of these I don't bet not in the FedEx Cup. Not doing it. And I don't know how many outlier FedEx Cup wins there been. I mean, you just read that one tournament. In the whole history of it, there have been very few actual outliers winning tournaments, period. So if they get me, I'll just say congrats. But I'm not betting them.
I'm with you. So we're going to stick near the top. Quick picks for me is going to be Vic and Clark. And I might end up betting Dunlap or Pendrith. I'll probably end up doing placings or top 10, top 5, something with those guys. Maybe top 5 placings without Scotty and in the crew kind of thing. But that's where I'm going to be. And you're the same way, Vic and Windy?
Yeah, Vic 22 here at Rivers and Windy at 40 I got on FanDuel. And I'm going to bet someone else. Good. It could be Cantlay, could be Finau. I don't know if they even deserve to be in the same
What about
station.
Hideki?
I'm usually like I'm like a hit and run, Pat.
I'm just glad I was made whole after betting Hideki all year. If I wasn't on Hideki after missing Rye the week before, who I had also bet all year, it'd be like if Tom Hoagie won this week. I just can't do it anymore. The guy's pissing me off.
But I would like to find who I want that other like good player I want to bet to be. We can talk about. I'm not even considering him, but Morikawa.
He's been running bad. Like he ran bad last week, and maybe it's just the same. Like the guy I was actually thinking about was Rory, just because it's the best Rory number we've had in a really long time at a course where he should just humble it. 12-1 at Bet365. But I truly do put a ton into form in the FedEx Cup playoffs. So, if you didn't have a good week 1, probably not going to go to you in week 2. We've just seen it happen too many times.
I don't know how any of these guys actually played.
Well, you can.
Cantley sticks out. Ludwig just feels like it's just been a long year and he's hitting a bit of a wall. I've said that a few times. I've been an apologist for him for about a month now.
Yeah, well, I mean, he really got, because I talked about the guys at the top. You know, Hideki lost 3.5 strokes around the greens. Victor lost a stroke around the green. But these were the guys that led in greens in regulation. Ludwig kind of suffered the same fate. He just wasn't hitting a ton of greens in regulation. He is Victor in so many ways. Like, he can't chip either. Like, you need to get him at those tight surfaces, like at the Masters and other places, where it's just like, yeah, you can roll it up, you can play your different shots, but when you get to a tournament like this with a ton of rough, now, is there something in Scandinavia where they don't have a ton of rough?
I'm not really sure, but I would say, I don't know. They're Texas. I'm Big 12 country boys these days as well. I saw the PGA posted some lovely video of Victor surprising 12 junior golfers and it was a 12-on-1 scramble, and it was cold and windy. These kids are in shorts. Victor's in toque and all bundled up to the ears. He's freezing his ass off, and these kids are out there playing in shorts. So I don't know. It made me think, like, you're from Scandinavia. Like, what's up, buddy? But maybe the Oklahoma life has gotten to his blood.
Potentially so. Anyway, that's where we're at. Vic and Clark. Clark. That's not a good sign. My voice is breaking on Wyndham Clark. And then I got Dunlap and Pendrith for some reason at the bottom. And I might be like you to add someone else. But who is that person? Find out on Wednesday with Toe Tag and Tambo in studio.
And I heard a rumor. We're doing some football recording with Cust.
Yes, so Thursday, NFC win totals will be out. We'll record it on Wednesday.
So that's like the appetizer to the AFC, which I'm continue. My vibes stay down, Pat. My vibes are down. I'm trying to keep them down as you've instructed me, and I'm doing it because I don't like a lot of things I'm seeing.
Well, you didn't like your new favorite running back, Gore Vidal, in the backfield? That guy's not doing it for you?
Well, I know a lot of the best ball, like Hardos. He's been like a whole thing, and might not even make the team. I know in Popper's last projection, he was actually projected not to make the team.
No, he switched that now.
Okay. See, I was out of even for the Chargers, a bit out of the loop. But they lead the league in preseason rushing yards before contact. That's like the one bright thing stat that I've enjoyed. And it's preseason, means nothing, but like we haven't been able to like get past the line of scrimmage without contact in 2 years, even against backup. So the fact that like maybe we can do something there is exciting. But vibes are low, but I'm fired up to record. I'm fired up.
All right, well, you get some rest. We'll bring the energy to that one. So I got tomorrow an update on the top 150, plus all the news from the weekend on Tuesday. So please sub to that. Join that Pick'em. Pre-register for that Pick'em League. That's down in the description right now. You'll want to play in it if you're making NFL picks because it's just free money that you can get in. If you don't have an Underdog account, code Mayo. And Underdog Fantasy right now will get you that deposit bonus of up to $250. All right, let's have another winner to close the season in golf. Fingers crossed. All right, I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience. Experience.